Hi guys, this is Jose with Prodigy. We're gonna talk about position and we're gonna talk about fingering today. We got a lot of questions from our students in the forum talking about, how difficult it is sometimes to figure out what is the best finger combination for the riff, solos, milestone songs, and anything that you are playing. And I wanted to give you some tips about that. Well, first of all, let's keep in mind that music is an art. So there's no set rules of what people will do in a particular composition. You might find some musical compositions that are really hard and they move all around the neck, and it's kind of really difficult to figure out right away what fingers you're gonna use. But for the most part of it, a lot of the guitar playing, electric guitar playing especially, is related to the scale patterns and is related to playing in different positions. We tend to like much better playing in a particular position and move up and down like that vertically than moving like that. Again, there's no set rules, but I'm talking about the majority of solos and parts that I have encountered. And why is that? That could be because it just feels more comfortable to stay in a position so you can look at the other musicians that you are playing with, you can focus on the paper, and every time that we switch positions, it's a little more difficult for us to read music or to move around stage if you are playing with someone, because you have to focus on where you're going with your fingers. So we tend to stack our notes, our playing, our scales in different positions, and usually a position is basically determined by the index finger. When we say 5th position, that means that our finger is going to be on the 5th fret, and then we're going to use our fingers in the consecutive frets. If you are reading tablature and you are in 5th position, all the 6s are going to be played with your middle finger, all the 7s with your ring finger, and all the 8s with your pinky fingers. Whenever I find a composition like that, where I have a lot of 5s and 8s, I just immediately go to 5th position, because that determines what the lowest and highest note it is. So I noticed that a lot of musical compositions have those differences of 3 frets. Sometimes you're playing and you see like a 7-10, you know that it's probably gonna be played in 7th position. So I instinctively just play my index finger on the 7th fret. If I see 12-15 in a particular riff of a song, I just know that I should place my index finger on the 12th fret and my pinky on the 15. So what I tell my students is that look in a phrase for the lowest number besides 0 and for the highest number, and try to place your index finger on the lowest number's fret, and that way you will know where the other finger should go. Just keep your hand in that position and figure out based on that. If you are in a phrase and you see a 5 and an 8 and 7s and 6s, you know that you can place your finger number 1 on the 5th fret and your pinky on the 8th. And if you have a 6, probably it's going to be played by your middle finger, a 7 by your ring finger. Also, you will find some exceptions. Sometimes we are playing a solo and all the notes are around the 5th position, but then we have a 9. What are you going to do for that? Instead of switching the whole position, you're going to have an extension of your pinky to reach that note. Or sometimes we are playing on 5th position and we have a 4. So the way that we're going to approach that 4 is that instead of switching the whole position, we're just going to kind of have an extension from our index finger to the 4th fret to reach that note. Okay? Again, these are very general rules, but I think they apply for a lot of the solos that we play. So one of the patterns that I look for is the pattern of 3 frets separation. When we have a 5-8, a 7-10, a 9-12, something like that, is determining what my the lowest note is going to determine where my index finger is going to be. Another pattern that I look for is patterns that have 2 note separation. For example, when you see 5-7, 5-7, most of the time if we have to play 5-7 on the, for example, 4th and 3rd strings, we don't do it with fingers 2 and 4. We could, but it's a little more unstable for our fingers And we try to avoid a lot using the pinky. So most of the times, if I see a 5-7-5-7, I know there's gonna be fingers 1 and 3. And same thing, every time that I see blocks that are like 2 frets apart. For example, if I see 8-10, 8-10 on the second and first strings, I know that I'm gonna use my finger 1 and 3, 1 and 3, index and ring, instead of these two. Yes, again, because we try to avoid the pinky. Well, I hope these tips are helpful. I know that there are a lot of exceptions to these rules, but I think these kind of little tips will help you be more aware in the lessons and songs that we are playing, in the riffs, and will help you like figure out right away where to place your fingers. Okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.